Somebody sound the alarm. We are getting bombarded with movie news apparently this week. June is the time to announce something, and today alone there's already been the announcement for the Angry Birds' third movie after a 5-year break. Not to mention we're going to be learning more about Wallace and Gromit by the time this video probably comes out. And then we've got the very strange spin of that probably wasn't on your bingo card in the form of Pharrell Williams' Lego Movie Biopic. What an odd direction, right? The Lego movies, we kind of got used to, you know? Batman might have been a little bit of a side surprise and Ninjago didn't do very well, but at least you knew what to expect out of a new Lego movie franchise. This is full on just a reset and a new redirection entirely, and I don't know how to feel about it yet. The idea of celebrity biopics, you know, they're kind of done. I'm kind of tired of them already. I've been there to hear about all the arguments we've heard, like how Bohemian Rhapsody won an Oscars award for editing when it was actually edited quite poorly. And while I'm sure there's all sorts of examples that are enjoyable, I heard Rocket Man is very good, and I'm a big fan of the Weird Al Yankovic version that made a parody of the genre instead. This is a new, interesting, creative direction. If you had to make another celebrity biopic, I'd probably say this is the best way to do it. In fact, you can even make some comfortable comparisons with how the theme of music is itself a field of creativity. So being able to express that in a far more creative outlet than just simple live action, yeah, that sounds and looks really, really good. And sure, I'll allow the more pop culture choices of a mainstream soundtrack. It's particularly fitting and pretty much mandatory for something like this. It's fine. That being said, the thing that pulls me back slightly on this movie is the very fact that it's still based on reality. The trailer, from what I can see, is trying to showcase that even though this is a Lego movie, it's still gonna be having all of that animation creative flair. But also when I look at it, it doesn't look like it's flaring enough, you know? It could be. I reckon what it really is we were just far too spoiled in the over-the-top, crazy animation action that is the prior Lego movies, you know? But when I'm seeing Lego characters being in a band, doing rehearsal footage, I'm not that enticed, you know? Clearly, however, this is going to be as creative as it can be. We see a moment of a building being rocketed off and landing again. There's going to be brilliant homages to other movies from, I assume, the inspirations of Pharrell Williams, as well as all sorts of extra little funky things like heads popping off out of pure passion and excitement, and all sorts of dream sequences that'll hopefully only embolden the entire story. What I think my concern is for this movie is this is going to be one of the better biopics, but one of the worser Lego movies, you know? Finding the clash between what is pretty generic, boring, and live-actionly standard, and then super high-end Lego animated movie is going to be an interesting charge to see. I have good faith that they'll do it very well. This movie's been in production for a while. In fact, we've even gone on to talk about the movie productions of this movie prior. We made a video a couple months back about the Lego movie franchise, and in it there was a whole excerpt about this piece-by-piece edition that they've been working on. So this is actually news that's already been known, and we go over more of the actual production details in that video, so I recommend you give that video a look, as that was our initial anniversary video for 10 years since the Lego movie franchise started. And really, this movie is just putting in all the efforts to make sure someone like me actually goes around and bloody watches this movie. I kinda haven't been watching celebrity biopics in a good long while, and now I guess I'll have to. Hey there, thank you for making it halfway through this video. Do come subscribe if you haven't already to keep up with any other animated movie trailers, as this one was probably a surprise to you as it was to me. I keep up with mostly everything and I made a handful of videos about Lego Movie if you're interested, so check it out if you're interested, and I'll let you get back to the rest of our thoughts on Lego movies piece by piece. It is an interesting prompt, I'll give it that. And I do think it is the correct way to really expand out your creativity to tell your story. I just don't know if the story's gonna be that fun enough for a Lego movie. I feel like most of the things they'll be able to expand on are only really gonna get a exhale out of my nose. Snoop Dogg turned into a literal dog. I recognize these characters in Lego form. Gosh, it's funny, look at their dinky little hands. Ha ha ha. At the same time, this is only the initial trailer. This is a movie being made by industry experts in several fields. Surely, in some way, they'll be able to make a story that will genuinely hit that inspirational core that so many good animated movies have at their center. I don't know if celebrity biopics typically have that kind of emotional core, wow, that could be me kind of story. A lot of times it's really just, wow, this is intense, what a drama, they're about to put on a big performance in front of a bunch of people and I'm worried that they won't succeed somehow. This, I don't know, I think it's going to be a very interesting case study, because I want this to be more Lego Movie and less biopic, and I think it's quite clear this movie is going for more biopic and less Lego movie. Pharrell Williams as a celebrity as well, I'm not that particularly interested in. I'm really not a big fan of mainstream music in general. I stick to my hipster choice of instrumental music that typically scatters the majority of the background music of most of my videos, and I've never really gotten that crazy parasocial on the celebrity front. Do it on an internet celebrity and maybe I'll have a conversation with you. But I'll be very surprised if the Lego movie decides to do a Mr. Beast movie. I think, well, it's a thought experiment for sure. This, more than anything, looks like a wonderful movie to study and enjoy, but it's not the kind I'm gonna put on a pedestal as the best movie of this year. But of course, I guess starting here with such a skeptical start means maybe it could only really excite me in the future. I mean, I keep seeing that one shot of him throwing pieces together, and then he puts together a tiny little clip piece and a singular tiny triangle, and I'm like, what is that even building? A slipper? That's how creative it feels. But I guess I could only be pleasantly surprised from a stance I have here. It, at the very least, is as creative as you can do for telling your own story, and if it starts its own franchise of creating more celebrity biopics, I probably won't like it because they're all going to probably won't really exceed this initial one, but still, it's a nice prompt. I wish Pharrell Williams all the best in selling this story he wants to tell. I'm going to only notice references that are probably not even references that they're meant to be, like the part of him lying down on the ground, clicking back and forth. I just think of Frozen, and I assume they're not trying to rip off that song, but that's the only vibes I get. I have a very stunted perception of pop culture references, apparently. And really, it's just going to be an interesting example to see if this movie can nail some pretty surprising hurdles it's got going up against it, or whether it's actually brilliantly opening a whole new franchise. It's a refresher of rights that the Lego movie team get to work on with, I believe, an entirely different studio, so I guess we'll just have to see how it really turns out for them. It's been a good long while since we've had a proper Lego movie theatrical release, and that's not helped by the fact that the third movie was actually cancelled, and we've also covered that in the past. We've had a handful of Lego movie videos at this point. But either way, I shall end it off on there with the poke that maybe you should do some research if you're interested in a cancelled movie or more about piece by piece. But otherwise, I'm going to end it off here as a dinky little thing. I've been waiting all day for a Wallace and Gromit trailer or some sort of animated movie news, and then I get bombarded with a complete spin. A surprise 3 minutes I really wasn't expecting to see. But I guess that's the case for all of us. My name's been Daz. Thank you very much for reaching the end of this video. Do let me know your thoughts on Piece by Piece. Are you as skeptical as me, or are you super into this? What do you think of Pharrell Williams? My biggest complaint about him is that he pronounces his name as Pharrell, and my name's Daryl, and it's not spelt the same, but I wish he was Pharrell Williams. I need more Arrels in my life, man. We're a rare breed, Daryls, especially British ones. Anyway, side ramble. I shall see you in a little bit.